Welcome to Rare Coins Numix. The USA 1 dime coin may seem small, but some have shocked collectors by selling for unbelievable amounts. What looks ordinary in your pocket can sometimes turn out to be a true treasure, so stick around to uncover the story. You never know, the next rare find could be waiting in your own change. Let's begin our journey with a coin that at first glance seems ordinary, but on closer inspection tells an important story about American coinage. It is the 1960 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark, a small silver coin from the Philadelphia Mint. At the time, this coin passed from hand to hand across the country as part of daily life. Today, however, the right example of this dime has become one of the most desirable pieces for collectors, not because of dramatic features but because of its rarity in pristine condition. The dime as we know it in 1960 was already well established. The Roosevelt design had been introduced in 1946, replacing the Mercury dime, and it was chosen to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt soon after his passing. Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and the Second World War had left a lasting mark, and his personal connection to the March of Dimes campaign made the 10-cent coin a fitting choice. The coin itself was struck in an alloy of 90% silver and 10% copper. Each dime weighed just over 2 grams and measured a little under 18 millimeters across. Though small, it was a true piece of silver, part of a coinage system that still relied on precious metals before the shift to clad coinage later in the 1960s. The Philadelphia Mint, as was its tradition, did not use a mint mark. Coins struck in Denver bore a D, and those from San Francisco an S, but Philadelphia's coins remained blank. This meant that any dime without a mint mark in 1960 could be traced to Philadelphia production. Millions were minted, ensuring that they were plentiful in circulation. Yet as with so many coins, sheer numbers do not guarantee survival in high quality. When these coins rolled off the presses, they carried fine details. Roosevelt's hair showed distinct lines, the lettering was sharp, and the reverse design of torch, olive branch, and oak branch stood out clearly. But as they circulated, wear began to erase those features. A small coin like the dime could quickly lose sharpness. What sets the 1960 no-mint mark dime apart is the scarcity of coins that remain in outstanding condition. To find one with strong luster, sharp detail, and no distracting marks is exceptionally difficult. Even coins saved directly from mint rolls often show small imperfections from the minting and packaging process. The few that survive in nearly flawless form are the ones that stand out to collectors. For numismatists, condition means everything. A coin in average circulated quality might be worth only a small premium, while one in superb uncirculated grade can command extraordinary attention. The difference is often subtle: tiny scratches avoided, sharper strike detail, or original mint luster preserved without interruption. But these differences matter greatly in the collecting world. Collectors have long pursued full sets of Roosevelt dimes, building albums year by year, mint by mint. For those who seek the highest quality examples, the 1960 Philadelphia issue presents a particular challenge. Most collectors can find a circulated coin easily, but to add a piece that grades at the very top levels is far more difficult. The year 1960 was also a turning point in America, the start of a new decade that would see profound changes socially, politically, and culturally. The dime from this year represents a link to that moment in time, a small artifact that carries with it the memory of an era before silver coinage ended and before major redesigns in U.S. coinage took hold. After the Coinage Act of 1965, silver was removed from circulating dimes, quarters, and half dollars. This meant that coins like the 1960 Roosevelt dime became part of the last era of circulating silver. That fact alone gives them special status in collections. Most coins struck in 1960 have been lost, worn down, melted for their silver, or simply forgotten. The handful of examples that survived untouched, protected in rolls or private collections, are the ones that tell the story today. Each one is a reminder of what the coin looked like at the moment it left the press. Over time, grading services helped confirm the rarity of top-quality examples. Professional grading placed coins into categories, with the finest pieces earning the highest numerical grades. For the 1960 Roosevelt dime without mint mark, the highest graded examples proved to be extremely limited. It is in this competition, driven by scarcity and the pursuit of completeness, that values have risen. While an average circulated coin from this year might only be worth its silver content, the finest known examples occupy a different category entirely. They are no longer simply dimes. They are condition rarities that fill a unique role in specialized collections. One such coin achieved an especially noteworthy result. Preserved in truly remarkable condition, it stood apart from the rest and drew the attention of serious collectors. Its sale demonstrated just how far the value of a small piece of silver can rise when rarity, history, and preservation come together. That single 1960 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark reached a value of $128,000. Yes, a coin that once carried a face value of 10 cents, meant for everyday transactions, sold for $128,000. Now moving on, let's take a closer look at another coin that many people often overlook in their everyday change, the 1996 Roosevelt dime struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the small P mint mark on the coin. At first glance, it appears like just another ordinary dime, something people toss into a jar, pay for parking with, or hardly notice when it slips through their fingers. But behind this modest appearance lies an example that has gained surprising attention in the numismatic community. The year 1996 marked the 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime, which had been introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his passing. By this time, the design by John R. Sinek was already familiar to Americans. Roosevelt's dignified profile on the obverse, paired with the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, representing liberty, peace, and strength. While tens of millions of these coins were struck in 1996, including at the Philadelphia Mint, only a small number stand apart due to their exceptional quality and preservation. Most dimes minted in Philadelphia in 1996 circulated heavily, leaving behind the usual marks, scratches, and wear. However, in rare cases, a handful of coins survived in pristine condition, either set aside immediately after minting or preserved by collectors who recognized their potential value. These high-quality survivors are the ones that catch the attention of grading services and coin enthusiasts today. One of the key reasons this coin garners interest is the milestone it represents. The 50th anniversary of the Roosevelt dime series gives it a place of historical importance, and coins tied to anniversaries often attract stronger collector demand. Add to that the fact that this is a modern-era coin, where most people assume only older, silver coins are worth collecting, and it becomes even more fascinating when such a recent piece gains recognition for rarity and value. Collectors place a strong emphasis on condition. A 1996 Roosevelt dime in average circulated grade is essentially worth face value, but when one appears in extraordinary mint state, free of blemishes, showing strong details, and boasting an eye-catching shine, the story changes completely. This is what separates the common from the collectible. It shows how even a small dime from the 1990s can rise to prominence when preserved in top condition. The appeal of this coin also lies in its role as a reminder that value isn't always about age. While many people only look for coins from the 1800s or early 1900s, the 1996 Roosevelt dime proves that modern coins can also become treasures in the right circumstances. This is why collectors often emphasize patience, attention to detail, and the habit of checking even the most ordinary change. They know that valuable finds can appear in unexpected places. Among the standout examples of the 1996 Philadelphia dime, there are coins that have been graded at extremely high mint state levels, such as MS 68 or MS 69. Coins of this caliber are considered nearly flawless, and because they are so scarce, they create intense interest when they appear for collectors. These are the coins that elevate the 1996 dime from something common into something that represents real value in today's numismatic market. What makes it even more exciting is how surprising it can be to discover a coin like this. Imagine someone holding onto a dime from the mid-1990s, never realizing that a perfectly preserved piece could bring extraordinary attention years later. That small, everyday coin could hold a story much larger than its face value. And so, after years of being recognized among modern rarities, one exceptional 1996 Roosevelt dime with the Philadelphia P mint mark has achieved a place of distinction. It's not because of silver content, nor because of any major design change, but simply because of its rarity in top condition and its importance tied to the 50th anniversary of the series. This particular dime, in such remarkable preservation, was able to stand out from millions and has been valued in the collector's market at a truly impressive figure. Today, an outstanding example of the 1996 Philadelphia Roosevelt dime has been recorded as selling for a total of $55,000. A simple dime, one that most would overlook without a second thought, transformed into a valuable collectible worth tens of thousands. That kind of result reminds us of how much hidden value can exist in the smallest details of our coinage. A simple coin most people overlook in their pocket change can turn out to be a remarkable treasure when preserved in the right state. For collectors, the 1996 dime is proof that attention to condition and history can transform ordinary change into a meaningful find. It also serves as a reminder of how unpredictable the world of numismatics can be. No one could have guessed when this dime left the Philadelphia Mint almost 3 decades ago that it would one day be recognized as a standout piece commanding such a sum. For everyday collectors, that story fuels the search, turning the act of checking change or sorting through rolls into something more exciting. And so, the 1996 Philadelphia dime stands as both a celebration of Roosevelt's legacy and a surprising example of how even modern coins can carry significant worth when the right conditions come together. $55,000 is not just a price tag, it is a recognition of rarity, preservation, and the enduring appeal of our nation's coinage. Next up, we turn our attention to a coin that, on the surface, looks like the kind of dime you'd pass over without a second thought. It's the 1999 Roosevelt D dime, a coin born during the final year of the 20th century, a time when America was preparing to step boldly into the new millennium. While the world was captivated by Y2K fears, booming technology, and change on every horizon, the U.S. Mint was quietly continuing its duty, striking millions of dimes to keep the nation's economy moving. Among those countless pieces, however, a few emerged with characteristics so unique that they transformed from everyday pocket change into prized treasures. The Roosevelt dime, first introduced in 1946, had already been in circulation for more than half a century by the time 1999 arrived. Its design, featuring the dignified portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, carried a sense of history and honor. Roosevelt's image was a reminder of his leadership during some of the most challenging years in American history, particularly the Great Depression and World War II. On the reverse, the torch flanked by olive and oak branches symbolized liberty, peace, and strength, values that resonated with every generation that handled the coin. In 1999, the Denver Mint produced millions of these dimes, each struck with the iconic D mint mark. For the most part, they were flawless examples of modern minting technology, churned out quickly and efficiently to meet the needs of commerce. Yet, within this sea of uniformity, tiny anomalies slipped through, subtle errors, unusual strikes, or simply coins preserved in pristine, untouched condition. These outliers are what capture the hearts of collectors, for they are the ones that tell a story far more fascinating than the rest. What makes this particular dime so captivating is not just its age, but its rarity in exceptional condition. Coins that survive decades without wear, scratches, or tarnish are far rarer than people realize. Think about it. How many dimes from 1999 have been spent, dropped, scraped across counters, or jingled around in pockets? To find one today that looks almost as if it just left the mint presses is like stumbling across a time capsule from the late 1990s. Collectors recognize this, and they prize such coins as symbols of both history and preservation. The appeal of the 1999 Roosevelt D dime also lies in its connection to a turning point in time. The late 90s marked the end of one era and the beginning of another. Having a coin from that precise year feels symbolic, like holding onto a small piece of history that bridges 2 centuries. For many collectors, that symbolism adds an extra layer of significance, making the coin even more desirable. Of course, not every 1999 dime is valuable, but those that boast exceptional quality or unique minting quirks rise far above the ordinary. Collectors often seek out coins graded at the highest levels, where every detail of Roosevelt's face, the torch, and even the smallest letters remain sharp and pristine. It's in these top conditions that a coin's value leaps beyond its humble 10-cent denomination, and here's the remarkable part: the kind of twist that turns an overlooked piece of change into something unforgettable. One of these 1999 Roosevelt Dimes, in extraordinary condition, has been recognized by collectors and enthusiasts alike for its rarity and perfection. While countless others have vanished into circulation, this one stood apart, commanding attention in the numismatic world. Its story is proof that even the most ordinary-looking coins can hold extraordinary secrets if preserved with care, and when the final chapter of this dime's journey was written, the number attached to it was nothing short of astonishing. This modest piece of modern history, this tiny silver-colored disc struck in Denver, found itself valued not at 10 cents, not even a few $100s, but at a truly jaw-dropping $49,000. That's the magic of coins like this. They remind us that hidden treasures still exist, waiting quietly in plain sight. A dime minted at the dawn of the new millennium, elevated by rarity, condition, and history, transformed into something greater than anyone might expect. It's a powerful reminder for collectors and casual coin hunters alike. Sometimes the most unassuming finds can become the most unforgettable. The value achieved by this coin continues to fuel the imagination of collectors everywhere. It serves as a reminder that not all treasures are buried deep underground or locked away in museums. Sometimes, they pass through our very hands, unnoticed until the right eyes discover them. The 1999 Roosevelt Dimes stands as living proof that hidden gems are out there, waiting to be found, and that every coin has the potential to surprise us with a story of its own. So if you come across a 1999 dime with a Denver mint mark, don't just toss it aside as ordinary change. Take a closer look, check its shine, examine its edges, and notice the details. What might seem like a simple dime in your hand could actually be a rare discovery with life-changing potential. These little treasures remind us that even the smallest coins can carry the biggest surprises. Every time you hold a dime, you could be holding a piece of history that holds a secret fortune. Moving on to our final treasure of today's journey, we arrive at a coin that might look completely ordinary to most people: the 2015 Roosevelt dime from the Philadelphia Mint. At first glance, it's a dime you'd expect to find rattling around in your pocket, casually exchanged at the store, or lying unnoticed in a change jar at home. Yet hidden within these seemingly common little discs are stories that only the careful eye of a collector can uncover, and sometimes, those stories lead to discoveries worth far more than 10 cents. The Roosevelt Dimes series, introduced back in 1946, carries with it a special kind of weight. It's not just another coin. It's a tribute to Franklin D. Roosevelt, the president who guided America through the Great Depression and World War II, and who left behind an enduring legacy. His leadership, his fight against polio, and his dedication to the people of the United States are forever etched into history and honored on this very dime. By 2015, the design had long since become a familiar part of everyday American life. Millions upon millions of these dimes poured out of the Philadelphia Mint that year, flooding into circulation and moving seamlessly through the hands of millions of people. For most, that's where the story ends, just another coin, indistinguishable from the next. But for coin enthusiasts, the year 2015 holds more than just routine minting. Within those masses of dimes, a select few carry the kind of characteristics that make collectors stop, take notice, and sometimes even gasp in disbelief. It could be a subtle misstrike, a doubled feature in the lettering, a misaligned die, or even an unusual luster that sets one dime apart from the rest. These small details, invisible to the average spender, are like hidden fingerprints that transform a simple coin into a prized rarity. The Philadelphia Mint, tasked with producing billions of coins each year, is known for precision. Yet even in such a controlled environment, slight variations can slip through. And that's what excites collectors most: the thrill of finding something rare hidden in plain sight. The 2015 Roosevelt P dime is one such case where a routine minting year managed to produce coins that left a lasting impression on the collecting world. Imagine the journey of one of these dimes, struck at lightning speed, tumbling down the production lines, packed and shipped across the country, only to end up as change in someone's pocket. Maybe it bought a soda, Maybe it slid across a counter at a gas station, or maybe it was tucked away unknowingly in a jar for years. But unlike its billions of siblings, this dime held a secret, one that would only be revealed when it was carefully examined by someone who knew what to look for. The design itself is timeless. Roosevelt's profile sits with a quiet dignity on the obverse, a symbol of leadership, resilience, and progress. The reverse shows the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, all powerful emblems of freedom, peace, and strength. By 2015, this design had been struck countless times, yet each coin still carries that symbolic weight. When you hold one, you're not just holding a piece of currency, you're holding decades of American history, art, and tradition. Collectors often say that modern coins don't carry the same value potential as older ones, but that assumption has been proven wrong time and again. The 2015 Roosevelt P dime is a striking reminder of that truth. Its rarity doesn't come from being old. It comes from its uniqueness within an ocean of ordinary. And in the world of numismatics, uniqueness is everything. The beauty of coin collecting is that it's not always about age. Sometimes it's about timing, precision, and the tiniest imperfections that turn a mass-produced coin into a true treasure. For those who dedicate the time to study and search, the rewards can be extraordinary. Now, here comes the part that truly sets this coin apart. After careful grading, identification, and recognition within the collector's market, certain examples of the 2015 Roosevelt P dime have achieved incredible results. What was once a 10-cent piece, something most people wouldn't give a second thought to, has stunned collectors by reaching a value of $26,000. Think about that for a moment. A coin meant for everyday transactions, worth less than the smallest paper bill, becoming a showpiece that collectors admire and compete for. It's a reminder that hidden gems are still out there, quietly waiting to be discovered by the observant and the patient. So, if you come across a 2015 Roosevelt P dime in your change, don't dismiss it too quickly. Take a closer look, because yours might not be just another dime, it could be one of the extraordinary few worth thousands. A magnifying glass, a little knowledge, and a curious eye could make all the difference. And with that, we close today's journey through remarkable coins. But remember, treasures like these don't always look like treasures at first glance. Sometimes, they're the smallest, most ordinary-looking things that carry the greatest surprises. That's the magic of numismatics, the thrill of discovery, the joy of history in your hands, and the endless possibility that the next coin you find might just change everything. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss more rare coin stories. Keep checking your change. Your next treasure could be waiting. Every coin has a story, and together we'll keep uncovering them. Stay tuned for more exciting discoveries coming soon.